Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I will be talking about my 3-day itinerary for Cartagena, Colombia. I was prepared to dislike Cartagena. Even though I had planned to go there for almost the entire year. The reviews I had gotten from others claimed Cartagena was too hot, humid, and crowded. I decided to make up my mind for myself. If I hated it, I could escape to the islands or another town on the Caribbean coast. So I had planned to stay only for a day. But 3 days later, I'm still there. So follow me on my journey to Cartagena, Colombia. This Cartagena itinerary spends 2 full days exploring the historical and artistic centers of Cartagena and 1 day visiting some of the beautiful nearby Caribbean islands.
Señorita, feel the conga. Let me see you move like you come from Colombia. Señorita, feel the conga. Let me see.
First, I arrived at Rafael Núñez International Airport on Tuesday evening. The view from the airplane as we approached was so beautiful that it had me rethinking my decision to stay for just a day. I mean, a place this beautiful had so much to offer. And trust me guys, I was not disappointed. After doing the necessary checks at the airport, I took a taxi to my hotel. The taxi fare cost about $3 to $4, equivalent to approximately 20,000 Colombian pesos. I chose to stay in a hotel in Cartagena, but there are many other options available, ranging from hotels to private islands, depending on your budget. Some good options are Madison Boutique Hotel, Osh Hotel, Estelar Cartagena de Indias, or where I decided to stay, Bando. Staying in the hotel was budget friendly for me, ranging from $100 to $150. The hotel I stayed in was super aesthetically charming, and I had sea views, which was a nice feature. Upon arriving at my hotel, I checked in, unpacked my belongings, and then spent some time enjoying the pool.
I recommend visiting just after sunrise when the castle opens at 7 a.m. At that time, it's peaceful and you'll have the place almost to yourself, allowing you to take in the panoramic views without the crowd.
Okay, so on my first day, the first thing I decided to do was explore the Castillo de San Felipe de Barajas, the massive fortress that looms over the city. I left around 7 in the morning to the castle. It is cooler around this time, so it's preferable to go around that time if you want to escape the heat and humidity later in the day. Additionally, the castle does not provide much shade at all. It was built in the 1600s by the Spanish to protect Cartagena from threats, not heat. And despite coming from under attack numerous times, the castle never fell into enemy hands and never withered away in the dust due to high temperatures. You can spend a few hours exploring the castle. It is the largest castle the Spanish built in South America, covering a whopping 16 acres of land. I really recommend hiring a guide. This costs around 20,000 Colombian pesos, but the additional insight and context they provide bringing the castle's history to life. Additionally, numerous hidden passageways and tunnels are challenging to locate without a guide, so making this another reason it's worthwhile to book one. By 9 o'clock, I was so hungry, so I stopped by Nia, a small bakery, for breakfast.
Come with me as we try Nia Bakery and Cocktail here in La Ciudad Muralla in Cartagena. Look at this deliciousness.
Their baked goods and vibes are a must visit in Cartagena.
Y'all, one thing about an indecisive person is that they shouldn't be left alone on a vacation. It was so many options that I couldn't really decide on just one. I grabbed a pineapple upside down tart, a seasonal fruit tart, and a pink smoothie. Remember, this is a judgment-free channel. Okay, so besides, if I don't try everything, how can I let you know what is good? All right. After breakfast, I moved on to explore the old town. People were not exaggerating when they said Cartagena is hot and crowded. You'll see many people wearing all white linen attire, often whole families out for a whole stroll in matching white. So cute. Also, make sure you wear your sunscreen. The city lacks shade cover, and it is very sunny throughout my entire visit. Be sure to use an eco-friendly sunscreen. I also decided to buy a snack along the way. I ended up with cocada de coco, which consists of coconut, cinnamon, coconut water, milk, and sugar, and it resembles shredded coconut. If you're looking to dive deep in Cartagena's rich history and stunning architecture, the free Old Town walking tour is a must. I was led by a local guide and got to explore famous spots like the Santuario de San Pedro Clava and the monumental Torre del Rojo, while learning some fascinating stories about the city's past. Now trust me, this was one of my favorite experiences from my 3 days in Cartagena. Even with the heat. It's a great way to get to know the city. And the best part is that it's free. Just be sure to tip your guide at the end. By the time I was done, it was already evening. So I decided to visit the fort wall. One of the most magical things to do in Cartagena is walking along the fort wall at sunset. The views of the city and the Caribbean Sea with their warm, golden glow from the setting sun were breathtaking. I made sure to take some photos and then headed back to the hotel to freshen up. Because after taking a cold shower to cool down from the heat, I headed out to explore the nightlife of Cartagena. I'm so ready. What I did was go to the rooftop bar Seven Cielos. There I ordered dinner, and for dinner I had a portobello risotto with ribeye. And for a cocktail, I ordered the Lulum 1942. Both had me feeling super fancy schmancy. I stayed and enjoyed the ambiance before moving on to the next spot. And honestly, I just went hopping from one rooftop bar to another. Cartagena rooftops come alive after dark, and many of them turn into a huge open air dance floors. Words from the wise. It's worth heading out before 11 p.m. most nights, as for large queues can build up pretty quickly, and often in Cartagena, you'll have to pay an entry fee after 11. It's also worth noting that some of these bars are pretty strict about their dress codes. I was simply turned away from wearing sandals at a bar. Well, I finally returned to my hotel by 2 a.m. and I soon fell asleep. So after a delicious meal of arepas and a cup of freshly brewed Colombian coffee, I was on my way to visit the Totomo Mud Volcano. I booked a tour from my hotel, but you can equally hire a driver. Booking a tour is cheaper though, and the guide kept telling us interesting stories about Cartagena. The Totomo Mud Volcano is a small volcano located approximately 1 hour northeast of the city. It's famous for thick, mineral-rich mud that fills it instead of lava, and the dense mud is believed to have healing properties, so people visit to bathe in it. So, I had to climb to the top of the crater, where guides were on hand to help me submerge into the bubbling mud. Bathing in the mud volcano is easily one of the strangest things I've ever experienced. So it's hard to even put into words. You feel surprisingly weightless, just like how you would in water. But there's a strange gritty texture and inconsistencies in the mud's temperature. So yeah, it was really relaxing though, and my skin felt amazing after the mud was rinsed off. From there, I moved back to my hotel, and after a very thorough shower, I headed out to visit Getsemaní. I spent the afternoon immersing myself in the vibrant atmosphere of Getsemaní, one of Cartagena's most eclectic neighborhoods. This has to be one of my favorite parts of Cartagena. More artsy and alternative, but full of atmosphere. I love it. Most streets within the area are super colorful, adorned with murals, or decorated with banners and umbrellas. I also took photographs of fruit ladies. The fruit ladies, also known as palenqueras, are one of the top attractions in Cartagena. You will find them scattered throughout the old town, dressed in brightly colored traditional Colombian clothing and selling tropical fruits. The heart of Getsemaní is this lively Plaza de la Trinidad. During the day, you can enjoy watching people eat street food here. Later in the evening, the square becomes even more vibrant, with street performers enjoyed by both locals and tourists alike. You have to be careful with the street vendors though. Avoid eye contact and say no gracias if you don't plan on buying from them. But seriously, no eye contact and say no gracias. I didn't have time to visit the huge gold museum in Bogota, so I ended up paying a visit to Museo de Oro in Cartagena. It's free to enter, and even though it's way smaller than the one in the capital, it still houses an extensive collection of gold. I also visited the Historical Museum of Cartagena de Indias, located in front of the Plaza de Bolívar. In this museum, there is an exhibition about the city of Cartagena, including the history of slavery and the Inquisition. Then I headed to the emerald shops. Colombia is known for producing some of the world's finest emeralds, and I found a ring that I really liked. As Rihanna would say, shine bright like a diamond. In the evening, I decided to go to the water. I went on a sunset boat trip that my hotel organized. It's giving VIP vibes. Yeah. You'll find plenty of choices when it comes to sunset boat trips, okay? And there are different boats for different vibes. Hey! So from party cruise on a pirate ship, arr, mate, let's party, to romantic private yacht trips. Hey, I love you, babe. Mwah. And everything in between. So most cruises last between 1 and 2 hours and sail around the Cartagena Bay. Later on that night, I visited some bars and enjoyed some good food and even better music. I also took a salsa class, which was a lot of fun. Then I retired for the day. Day 3 was my day at the beach. I visited the Rosario Islands, which are a paradise of white sand beaches and crystal clear waters. This half-day boat tour that I booked included lunch and snorkel gear. Hey! For something unique, I visited the Pink Sea, also known as the El Salar de Calazamba, where the water has a stunning pink hue. It was perfect for photos and relaxation. I also got to visit Cologne Island, also known as the beach in the middle of the ocean. There were people in boats selling food, drinks, and fruits. It was a vibe. And did I forget to mention drinks? I also visited Isla Baru, also known as Baru Island. It was one of the closest islands to the many that sit off the coast of Cartagena. Although it's not as tropical or luxurious as some of the other islands in the area, such as Rosario's Island, it has a lively atmosphere that's hard to beat. I relaxed in the sand and even went on a jet ski ride. Hey! Tickets cost between $25 and $30 US. When I got back from the beach, I went out to see the city one last time. I went to Parque del Centenario. While not the most beautiful city park, it easily makes up for the creatures that can be found within. So be sure to look up to search for chilled out sloths and furry tamarin monkeys. And hey, I even saw a large iguana along one of the paths. Then I went to the Convento La Popa, visible from nearly everywhere in Cartagena. The 17th century convent, perched on Mount Popa, is the most important religious site in the city. Offering spectacular views of the city, however, it is more popular for its stunning view than its historical importance. I also went to check out Palenque, a hidden African village about an hour from the Wali city. It was an experience I really enjoyed. The town was created in the 16th century by Binkos Bayoho for Africans who escaped slavery. I had the opportunity to experience African music, dance, and art. I even ate African dishes with recipes that are hundreds of years old, which was a truly life-changing experience.
It's the first free African town of the Americas. This village was created for Africans that escaped slavery in the 16th century, and it was founded by Benkos Bayoho. He was a former African king. They have preserved the culture and traditions over the years.
At night, I was so tired, but I decided to go out for drinks with the others from the hotel anyway. So I noticed some horses pulling carriages in the streets of Cartagena. I, however, did not pay for a ride as some of the horses looked poorly treated, so I did a hard pass. I had some more fun and then I returned to my hotel at 1 a.m. I was a bit sad to leave the next day, but I was delighted that I didn't let people's opinions stop me from experiencing Cartagena, Colombia. And you shouldn't either. That's all for today, everyone. Bye.